Welcome to your weekly Open the Door to Tai Chi lesson. When was the last time you thought about improving your walking? Really, when was the last time you even thought about your walking and how you walk? We learn to walk when we're about 1 year old, and then we're running, and we never look back. We never really think about how to walk. But there are a lot of mechanics involved in proper gait. We need to coordinate our hands and our feet as we walk. We need to walk heel to toe. We need to be in a good posture, keeping our shoulders above our hips, above our knees, above our feet. We need to think about rotating. When you walk, you rotate your center of mass over your base of support, and then you rotate as you change feet. And speaking of changing feet, you have to remain balanced because walking essentially is a one-legged event, right? It's not, your 2 feet are not on the ground. There are a lot of moments where you are on 1 foot. So balance is important. Think about if you go to the mall and just sit and watch people walk, you will see a lot of different examples of gait that could use some improving, right? You have people that perhaps have their head forward and they're walking like this. Perhaps their head is down and they're walking like this. You will see people shuffle with their toes first. They're not walking heel to toe. You will see people weeble wobble back and forth because they've lost their ability to rotate. So there's a lot of ways that we can improve our gait. And one of the interesting facts that you need to understand why we want to improve our gait is that there is a definite correlation between improving your health span, meaning how long you live in a healthy state, and the speed of your walking, right? The faster you walk, the more health span, the improvement, you will improve your health span incredibly. So in order to walk quickly, we actually need to be walking correctly. So what does this have to do with Tai Chi, right? We do Chi walking and we're walking slowly. What it has to do with Tai Chi is the incredible correlation that Tai Chi can help you improve your walking. Because in Tai Chi, we think about our substantial and insubstantial. We think about our rotation. We work on that rotation. We work on bringing our center of mass over our base of support. We think about the coordination of our hands and feet, of our elbows and knees, of our shoulders and hips. And we let the Dantian lead. So let me show you some examples of how that all works and why it's important for improving your walking. Let's do Chi walking first. As we do our Chi walking, what do? We go heel to toe and we feel that weight. And then we rock back and we rotate slightly. Then we bring our center of mass over our base of support, letting this leg be completely substantial, and then stepping forward into our next step. If as we step and we're not completely substantial, we will fall forward. And that's what we want to avoid as we're walking, right? We don't want to fall at all, but we want to be able to feel that weight shift and step forward, heel to toe, stepping and allowing ourselves to feel that weight shift. Now, obviously, we're not going to walk through the grocery store like that. I've said that several times. That would be completely silly to walk this slowly through the grocery store. So you have to start translating what are you feeling when you do your chi walking? Can you feel it when you walk at a normal, quicker pace? Can you feel that weight shift? Can you focus on heel to toe? And at any point, can you stop and be completely balanced? Let's look at wave hands like clouds. We mentioned center of mass over that base of support. We also mentioned rotation. As you walk, you have to be able to rotate, or you end up having to walk like this, which increases your risk of falling as you walk because you're not balanced. You're shifting that weight all the way over, and sometimes it goes way too far. So we need to work on rotation. We do our wave hands like clouds. Think about leading from the dantian. Now that dantian is over this substantial leg, and we can bring that insubstantial leg in. Now that dantian comes over that right leg, letting the left leg be insubstantial so it can step. So we're training our body to rotate. Even though this is a lateral step, you're still training your body for that rotation, bringing that center of mass over your base of support, knowing where your substantial and insubstantial, where your weight is, so that that insubstantial leg is the one that can step. It's the same thing when you're walking. Let's look at repulse the monkey. So we're here, our weight is on the right. We know that this left leg has to move, so it has to be insubstantial. Then as we rotate and we bring our weight over that back leg, that left leg, now the right leg can be empty. We can step and rotate. We also need to be concerned with keeping those shoulders in harmony with our hips as we do that repulse the monkey, because if we're not keeping shoulders above hips, we're going to fall either backwards or we're going to fall forwards. We're training our body to move in such a way that we can translate that into walking. And there's a big craze right now about walking backwards, right? I'm not saying you need to do that, but if you're interested in trying that, Repulse the Monkey is going to help you with that as well. But if you think about just being in a crowd, you need to be able to step backwards and remain balanced. Let's do part the wild horse's mane, holding the ball to the right, stepping out heel to toe, rotating into that motion, keeping our shoulders above our hips, letting the dantian lead that motion, stepping up, thinking about our substantial and insubstantial, rotating into that motion, and part the wild horse's mane. Clearly, again, we're not going to walk like that. But if you think about walking and having to have something in your arms, perhaps you're walking through a room, putting something away, you're holding a box. You have to be able to coordinate hands and feet with your stepping out, part the wild horse's mane. rotating, understanding your substantial and insubstantial, knowing that you're choosing to step forward. Same thing with brush knee. As we step out, we let that dantian lead, and it helps us so that we're not overreaching. We're not shifting forward like this. If, as we're walking, we understand that dantian has to lead, that doesn't mean that we walk like this as if we're being pulled from our belly button. Remember, we're suspended from the crown of our head, which allows our body to be naturally in good alignment. Think about that example I gave you about some people you see walking like this. That can't happen if you're thinking about being suspended from the crown of your head. It's going to keep everything in alignment. You're going to be in a much better posture as you walk. Let's do that brush knee again. If you think about being suspended from the crown of your head, letting that dantian lead, you're not going to overreach. You're going to use that rotation, thinking about your substantial and insubstantial. All of this can translate to a better gait. Remember that walking is a one-legged event. We work on being on one leg in Tai Chi. We do pheasant stands. We coordinate the hands and the feet, the elbows and the knees, keeping our shoulders above our hips. Thinking about our kicks. We have to think about where is our base of support. This leg has to be completely insubstantial as we do that, which is what happens when you step. When you step heel to toe, if you think about our kick, smash, and box the ears, we want to land on that heel as we box the ears. If we do kick, smash, put that heel down, move from the dantian, and box the ears. It keeps our body in alignment. We're teaching our body to move in such a way that we actually can improve our gait if we just work at translating it into our walking. Like I said, you have to actually think about, how do I improve the way I walk? You have to examine yourself and think very critically about, do I need to improve it? Do I want to improve it? Do I want to think about improving my health span? Tai Chi is going to help you with that just by doing the exercise, by allowing your body to open up and relieve stress. But it's also going to help you by improving your gait if you allow that Tai Chi to do that. So now I want to do a simple form, that simplified 8 form. It's kind of like the walking part of Tai Chi, whereas when we move on to other forms, it's more like running. They're more like advanced movements. The simplified 8 form is very easy to think about: columns, weight shift, being suspended from the crown of our head, thinking about coordination of hands and feet, elbows and knees, shoulders and hips, moving from the dantian, making sure that we're rotating. So let's do that simplified 8 form together. Stand nice and tall. Think about your feet. Let them wiggle a little bit. Let your knees be soft. Take a nice deep breath in. Breathe it out. Let all the weight come over onto the right and step left. Then center yourself. Preparation. repulse the monkey, but we're not going to step back. We're just going to use that rotation to bring the hands into position for our repulse the monkey. Now the weight comes all the way over onto the right, and we rotate into our brush knee left. Then bring that weight back to the right, let the left leg come back, and now step out, brush knee right. Feel that weight shift to allow that foot to come back. Now part the wild horse's mane. Think about how you're rotating, leading from the dantian. Part the wild horse's mane. Then as that right foot comes back, it fills completely so that we can step out with our wave hands like clouds. Rotating through this motion, focusing on substantial and insubstantial. Bring that right foot in, but now step out with the right. Stepping in with the left. One more. Step out right. And now bring all the weight over to the left and lift into pheasant stance. Bring all the weight to the right, lift into pheasant stance. And now kicking right, kicking left. Then all the weight comes into your left, holding that ball. We're going to step out, ward off. Grasp the bird's tail. Think about your columns. Roll back. Rotate and press. Keeping yourself within your columns keeps you good posture. Pushing chi. Then bring the weight to the left. Step back with the right. Hold that ball and ward off. Rotating, grasp the bird's tail. Roll back. Rotate and press. Pushing chi. Bring all the weight up onto that left. Step out, return the tiger to the mountain. And close. So a simple walking form like that can get the idea of bringing those principles to play as you move. And then take a walk. Do your simplified 8 form, and then go out and take a walk and see if you can apply those principles as you're walking and quicken your pace just a little bit. Don't go from walking slowly to trying to run, but gradually start to quicken your pace as you get better and you improve your walking. Do that for me this week and let me know how you do. I'll see you next week.